Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com, coming to a look at game 111-112. Little Pac-12 After Dark action. Arizona State takes on Cal on Friday night, a matchup here in Week 5. Over at BangTheBook.com, we'll have you fully prepared for Week 5. My college football power ratings already posted, as well as some college football situational betting tips. And as we head on into the weekend, I should say, Alan Moody, Jonathan Willis, Admir Algic, with some very good college football free content for you, including some FCS picks, best bets, system picks, bunch of different stats and trends all throughout those articles. So definitely keep an eye out for that over at the website. On the NFL side, we'll be doing the same thing. We'll have model projected final scores and against the spread and totals picks from Danny Borges coming up here on Wednesday night or Thursday. We'll also have a lot of stuff coming from Alan Moody and Admir Algic for this weekend in the NFL. Still covering WNBA. It's the playoffs there. MLB playoffs right around the corner. NASCAR playoffs going on. Golf, soccer, tennis, esports. NHL season coming up here very soon. NBA season coming very soon. A lot of college basketball content coming your way as well. So plenty of stuff going on over at BangTheBook.com for you to check out. Also, make sure you check out Bang the Book Radio. Every Monday through Friday, you can find the segments right here on our Bang the Book YouTube channel. You can also find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podbean, TuneIn, Overcast. Whatever it is you listen to your podcast content on, you're pretty much assured to find Bang the Book Radio there. I just want to throw a shout out to all the Wisconsin Badgers fans that were in our comments last week. Yeah, I was wrong about that game. Great performance from Wisconsin. Please keep checking out our videos here on our Bang the Book YouTube page. In any event, game 111-112, Arizona State and Cal. Cal, a 4.5-point favorite here, total of 40.5. Cal with their highest rating in the human polls since, 2007, 2009, whatever it is. But look, this game and this spread is a reminder that when you talk about college football in a betting context, the polls by and large don't matter. You got a top 15 team here as only a 4.5-point favorite at home against an unranked team. So be very careful falling in love with those human polls because a lot of times they're not indicative of where these teams are rated and ranked as it pertains to a set of college football power ratings. And Cal, they're a fringy top 25 team for me, let alone nowhere near the top 15. So keep that in mind here as we go throughout the season. Arizona State, they were in the top 25. They fell out of it with last week's loss to Colorado. In their first 3 games, they gave up 7, 7, and 7. Kent State, Sacramento State, Michigan State. They were outgained by 200 yards in that Michigan State game. So a little bit of a misleading final in that game. They give up 34 last week to Colorado, who didn't even have Laviska Shenault for most of the game. So not a great look for the Arizona State defense last week. I'll talk more about that here in a couple of minutes. As far as Cal goes, look, they're 4-0. Wins at Washington and at Ole Miss. They also knocked off North Texas at home. So pretty good start to the season here for the Golden Bears. And I will say, look, they're a fringy top 25 team for me. They're not the number 15 team in the country, but their defense is legit. Their defense is very, very good. That's been a hallmark under Justin Wilcox during his tenure. That's not going to change. What has changed a little bit and did change last week against Ole Miss, Chase Garbers is actually looking like a college football quarterback now. Still been sacked too many times. He's been sacked 13 times on the year, but he's only turned the football over twice. And he is getting a little bit better, getting a little bit more of a grasp of this offense. Had a career game against Ole Miss last week. Talk about that again here in a couple of minutes as well. I guess it's a really good test for Jaden Daniels, though, the redshirt freshman quarterback for Arizona State. The numbers aren't eye-popping, but he's played pretty well overall. He's got a 5-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, has been sacked 11 times, but 5 of those came in the opener against Kent State. So maybe some nerves, some questions about the protections, stuff like that. Things that somebody like Herm Edwards is going to be able to fix and appears to have fixed already since Daniel's only been sacked 6 times in his last 3 games. The question is, can Arizona State get Eno Benjamin going? 3.8 yards per carry on the season for him. A big part of this Sun Devils offense. They've got to get him going here at some point in time. And it would certainly help their chances this week. Cal's offense, bottom 100, or the bottom 30 in third down conversion rate in college football this season. They're 19 for 55 in that department. I think they're 103rd in the country or something like that. So that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. If you can't stay on the field and sustain drives, you're putting a ton of pressure on the other side of the ball, and you wonder how long this Cal defense can hold up. Very, very strong unit, as I mentioned, but all 4 of their wins this season by 8 or fewer points. They've got to create a little bit more margin for error, move the chains, stay on the field. So far, that hasn't really been a thing for this Cal offense, and yet it hasn't come back to burn them yet. As I mentioned, they are 4-0 here thus far. Arizona State, 92nd in third down conversion rate against. So that's the big key to the game here. Which team has more success on third down, both offensively and defensively? It'll be about execution. And look, you could say a lot of games wind up being like that. But this one in particular, with the fact that you've got, an offense for Cal, it's not great, a redshirt freshman making a tough road start in Berkeley for Arizona State. You got some big questions here on third down. Means a tough handicap both ways. I will say this spot's not great for either team. You do have the short rest, and you also have a Cal team coming back from playing Ole Miss in Oxford, hot, humid kind of day, and Cal had to defend 86 plays in that game. Arizona State coming off of the Colorado loss at home, so maybe a little bit better of a spot for them because you've kind of got a chance to get refocused. Maybe they got a little bit too big-headed off that win at Michigan State, getting in the top 25, so on and so forth. You get humbled a little bit with a loss like that to Colorado, especially a Colorado team that was missing some of its key players. Oh, I will say this. My personal power ratings line of the game, Cal minus 5.5. But I'm going to go against it here. I'm going to take Arizona State plus 4.5. Few reasons why. Number one, Chase Garbers, off of a career game. It's kind of like when you watch a horse race and a horse puts together the best time that he's ever had. You look to fade that horse the following week or in its next race because you don't expect a repeat performance. I would not expect a repeat performance from Chase Garbers here in this game. Threw for about 350 yards against Ole Miss. I would not expect that at all. I would expect regression back to where he is, which is probably a below-average quarterback. Also, an intangible point here, maybe a narrative point. This feels like the kind of games that Herm Edwards wins. Did it against Michigan State a couple of weeks ago. Did it multiple times over last year when Arizona State was much better than we thought. I know Justin Wilcox kind of has that reputation as well, but there's just something different about this Herm Edwards team. And I think last week's performance defensively, probably a little bit of an outlier for them. Tough spot coming back from East Lansing, getting ranked, as I mentioned. Now you get a pretty dangerous offense coming to your barn in Tempe, and you're unable to hold up your end of the bargain. I think this Arizona State defense is better than a lot of people think. And also, total of 40.5 would suggest that Arizona State's defense should improve here. So I've got a little bit higher of a trust factor in Herm Edwards and the Sun Devils, in Jaden Daniels, and I'm looking for some of that regression, not just from Chase Garbers, but also a little bit from this Cal defense as well, coming off of such a heavy workload last week. Again, maybe you look for a live betting opportunity to get Arizona State, maybe plus 7.5 or something like that. But I'm going to take Arizona State here, plus the 4.5, looking for a little bit of a rebound from them and a little bit of regression from Cal. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.com.